This is Dr. Maloney, who has a PhD in sociology and has been at Cody School for more than 60 years. And so, Dr. Maloney, what are the suggestions you have to students who wish to work in the development and or environmental science?
All right, good to talk with you. Cody School does give good training in these wide areas, but the students have to reach out and get as wide a background as possible. Now, I don't know if you're thinking more about the biology of it or which would involve biodiversity, or whether you're thinking more about the climate causes and alternative energy, renewable energy, or whether you're thinking more about the physical changes coming on the Earth because of the climate change, such as the ocean rise and more storms and so forth. All of these things are involved, and you cannot become an expert in everything, but you can probably choose one and then develop your interests.
All right. And so, what advice would you have for the younger generation to reduce their carbon footprint and protect the planet?
Yes. Well, Cody School is giving a quite good example of that. You know that Cody School wants to reach move towards carbon neutrality. It's not possible completely here, but they're moving toward it. So the first thing is your own lifestyle. Your own lifestyle. For example, I don't want to buy a lot of clothes. I don't need more clothes than I have. Some people have 20 coats and 20 shoes and all those things which take energy to make. And then they buy all kinds of plastic bottles of medicines and kinds of lotion to put on the face and all this stuff. I don't have any of that stuff. But some people think, oh, I have to look good. I have to do all of this modern stuff. And it's just not necessary. So your personal lifestyle is the first thing. Be conservative in your lifestyle. Don't waste food. Don't travel more than you need to, and be an example yourself. And then the second thing is find out where you can have influence. You might live in a town where there's an organization, or you can form an organization or an NGO that will have influence on the municipality, for example, to reduce the carbon footprint within the town by conservation, by renewable energy, and for example, does the municipality have solar panels? Do all the official houses have solar panels? These are the kinds of things that you can bring up if you have an organization like that. And then you can, at the national elections, you can find out who are the candidates who understand these things. I read that the reporters in the last national election, when Modi was elected, I read that the reporter said that no candidate in the whole of India brought up the topic of climate change in the last national election. Now, this is just unbelievable. So you, as a young person, you can take interest in yourself, organizing things or joining NGOs or organizations who understand what has to be done, because decisions about this has to be made very strongly at the highest level of government.
So I'll definitely implement that in my day-to-day life, how to reduce the carbon footprint. And so
Yeah.
my next question is, what skill sets should students have who are interested in environmental science and sociology?
What should students have? Yeah, that again depends. Um, you have to have a broad background, but certainly you have to have an understanding of energy consumption. You should be able to read the electric meters. You should be able to calculate your electric consumption and relative to other people. You should be able to put on solar panels and solar water heaters and calculate the benefit. And you should now buy an electric vehicle and understand the benefit of that, even though the benefit may not, you may not be able to calculate the extra costs of making the electric vehicle. And I'm not sure if you can calculate um, about the use of electricity in the electric vehicle, but at least your own footprint can be calculated. And then your footprint about plastic and recycling and all those things, you know about that because all the people of Cody School are involved with it. So it again depends. You cannot be an expert in the biology of it and in the physics of it and in the climate change result in extreme weather conditions and so forth. But you can choose an area, and then you should go on to graduate school and select to college and select your college program according to your desire, and then go on to postgraduate and learn what other countries are doing, and if possible, you can travel. You can travel to the states that are active in this, like now Adani is putting up a whole tremendous, a $2 trillion solar park in Gujarat. I don't know if you can go there, but if you can understand these things and maybe visit or talk to some of the people involved in these big projects, when you get competence to interview them, and then you should be able to interview the politicians. They should be open to that and ask them what they are doing and tell them your opinion. And then you should read widely. Do you get a good newspaper? Do you get online? Now, for example, you can get so much information online. Energy Tracker. Look up Energy Tracker, which keeps track of all of the energy being used in different countries of the world. And beyond that, there's Energy Tracker Asia. Energy Tracker Asia. It comes every week, and it will show you a lot about the energy use and the types of efforts people are making in India and other countries of Asia. There's a whole list of sites where you can see what is going on in different countries. I can send you that if you like. It's about, if I have your email, or I can get your email from the school. I will send you the list of sites on internet where you can get all the information you want about this in different countries.
Yeah. Can you tell us more about the Environment Center at Swedish House?
About the Environment Center. That was a Swedish House 35 years ago. Now it's the Environment Center. Have you been up there?
No, sir.
No, you have not. This is the problem. Many school students have not been up there.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we don't have time this semester, but next semester, students like you, or actually all of the students, should come up there and spend a couple hours on the ground floor,
Sure.
where there are about 90 posters of the Earth heating and what's going on in the ocean and biodiversity loss and effect on humans, and then adaptation, how people in different countries adapt or have to adapt to the climate change, and then a whole section on mitigation, what people and countries and governments are doing to mitigate or reduce the effect of climate change. And then there's another section on alternative energy with 15 different types of alternative energy. So you can come up there and see all that. And what was your question now?
Tell more about the Environment Center.
About the Environment Center. Then on the top floor, there is a lot about the Palani Hills and biodiversity, all the birds and the mammals and the different butterflies and different kinds of living things. And then you can see a map of the loss of biodiversity in the Palani Hills. When I was a student here, most of the Palani Hills was covered with grassland, heavy grass, and that's very good because it fertilizes the soil. It brings carbon. It enables the soil to have a lot of microbes. But the forest department planted acacia trees over most of these hills from Australia, and this has changed the whole biodiversity of the tops of the hills. And then some other places they planted eucalyptus trees, which drain the groundwater and are not good for the environment, and pine trees, which are all foreign species. So now the NGOs here, like PHCC or our Center for Environment and other agencies, are trying to encourage the revival of some of more of the shoalike forests, the shoalike natural little forests in the wetter valleys. And these are all native types of trees. And there are about 50 species of trees that are indigenous to Kodaikanal, which are in these shoalike patches. So these have to be protected, and they have the original biodiversity. So you can see a map up in the Environment Center of how that was in 1973 and how the change has occurred because of planting, because of loss of the grassland, and because of the expansion of human settlement and agriculture. A large part of the Palani Hills are reserved forests, but some parts are not. And there has been a lot of expansion of agriculture in those areas. And not all of the agriculturalists or farmers are careful about retaining the fertility of the soil. If they make terraces and they're sloped too much and a heavy rain comes, the topsoil washes off, and then they use chemicals and all that. So Dr. Roger Manikam is working hard with some farmers to help them reduce the use of the chemical fertilizers. And we have to individually and collectively put all the carbon we can find, all the carbon like leftover food or things cleaning the compound or any other organic stuff, put it back in the ground so it doesn't rot and put methane in the air.
So thank you so much, Mr. Maloney. I think students who watch this video will surely take your
Okay.
words of advice. And I hope to see you soon. And thank you so much for your time. Have a great
Okay,
day.
I will send you to your email
Mhm.
this list of about 20 sources about climate change, which you can get on internet.
All right. I'll be looking forward to that.
Okay,
All right.
good.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right, that's good.